Magnificent Milan plays host to the 2024 MotoGPeSport Global Series Grand Final at a spectacular Milan Games Week, where Daniele Allori comes into the final event 24 points clear of nearest challenger Jack Hammer. There are 75 points on offer today, so it's all to play for. So, with that being said, it's now time for the MotoGPeSport Global Series Grand Final. Hello and welcome to the Milan Games Week here on the outskirts of Milan, where there's so much on offer to see, so much incredible things to witness, including the crowning of our MotoGPeSport Global Series champion a little later on today. Daniele Allori leads away from reigning champion Jack Hammer, and of course we've got on display the current MotoGP World Champion replica Ducati Panigale, ridden by Jorge Martin at the World Ducati Week. The Prima Pramac Racing livery on full display here at the MotoGP stand. So we have brilliant things on offer. Of course, we've got another world champion next to him, the Honda RC213V, ridden by double Moto2 world champion Johann Zarco, the Frenchman, on that striking Castrol livery. And we look forward to seeing what Honda and, of course, Johann Zarco can do next year. And just behind him, we do have France's first MotoGP champion, Fabio Quartararo, on board the Monster Energy Yamaha M1. So with that being said, the MotoGP stand has got so much on offer. And, of course, next to us here, we have the official partner of MotoGP, the BMW safety car, which you can come down, take a look inside, and you never know, you might like it so much that you want to buy one for yourself. And just as we end the display here at the MotoGP stand, just remember you can get in touch with us join the conversation. Hashtag MotoGPeSport. And you can get in touch with myself as well, Liam Hodgins, and of course, my cohort in crime, Connor Doherty as well. So as we come to the end of the MotoGP stand, we do have Aleix Espargaro's RSGP on display here. The striking Aprilia has gone down as a MotoGP legend after Aleix Espargaro's retirement at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya 1 week ago. And I can now hand over to my cohort in crime, Connor Doherty, who's over in the comms box with another MotoGP legend.
That's right, I'm Connor Doherty, and I think that stand looks absolutely incredible, and I think there's also one bike which is going to be of particular interest to our guest here today. 6-time world champion, 5 of those titles came on an Aprilia. I'm talking, of course, about MotoGP legend Max Biaggi. Max, thank you for joining us.
Hey, hi, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Good to see you again.
Very happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just saw the MotoGP World Championship come to a thrilling conclusion in Barcelona at the Solidarity GP. It was absolutely sensational, so emotional. How have you lived this entire season?
Well, we couldn't have a better final like the one we saw in last week in Barcelona. It was fantastic to see Jorge did a great win. I mean, he won by a few points, but he really managed a nice, difficult racing. So I have to say, when you race and you decide your whole season one race only, that's a big stress, a difficult. Happened to me 3 times over my 6 titles, so I have to say big congrats to him, because he really find a way to do it without any mistake.
Absolutely, and you having lived this experience, in MotoGP it went right down to the final race. Well, right here, it's going down to the final round. Have you got any advice for our gamers on our stage?
Whoa, very difficult. Try to be, to do always the same thing, the one you did before, without change your routine. Of course, it's up to, the way you feel in that moment. But I think this guy here knows very well, because this is now the year 1 for them. So I'm very excited to see the new, world champion, MotoGPeSport champion.
Absolutely. So I think with that, we can take a moment to thank our sponsors. They help make all of this possible. And of course, now that we're ready to go racing, we have qualifying out the way, and that means that we have a Tissot Pole Award winner. So let's take a look at the prize. So it's this magnificent timepiece, absolutely incredible T-Race watch from Tissot. There's a reason why this battle for pole is so hotly contested. This season, it was Jack Hammer who claimed it for a 2nd year in a row. Our current reigning champion, and we can hear from him as he's with Liam.
Thank you very much, Connor, and I'm here with our current MotoGPeSport champion and of course our new Tissot Pole Watch winner, Jack Hammer. Jack, congratulations, well done on winning the new watch for the 2nd year running. And it's, well, as Jack opens it up and shows the brand new watch gleaming from the outside with the lights here, just looks absolutely spectacular. And Jack, just coming back to the watch, 2nd year running you've won the watch, and it's not the only thing today that you're trying to defend. Just tell us how you feel about the pole positions in general this year and how it feels to win the watch once more.
Thank you. It's a great feeling to win this twice. The first time is very strange because I've never considered myself as a qualifier, and to back up this year is even more strange for me, but this is how it is, and I'm very happy to win my 2nd Tissot Pole Award, and hopefully this could lead to something else that I can take double of later today.
Yes, of course, you're alluding to defending your MotoGPeSport championship. You've got very tough competition. Daniele Aloy leading you by 24 points. What's your game plan today? Do you think you can overcome that point deficit?
Well, simply the plan is to win all 3 races. Obviously that's very difficult, but I've just got to try my best. Maybe hope there's a little bit of few people who can get in between me and Daniele, but you can't ignore Trast, Adrian and Davide Teresi. So just go 100%, pray everything goes okay, and hopefully I'll be lifting the trophy for a 2nd time this year. Well, second time in succession.
Well done again to Jack Hammer, and of course he does have that MotoGP Esport Championship to defend. So with that being said, let's take a look at how round 2 played out.
Round 2 of the Global Series showed us how difficult it is to fight for this year's MotoGP Esport crown.
While round 1 was led by Ducati Lenovo Esport team's Daniele Aloe, who won all 3 races. In round 2, 3 different gamers took the top spot on the podium.
Thailand's Chang International Circuit hosted the Tissot Sprint. Jack Hammer led throughout the 3 laps, but Daniele Aloe was right behind, followed closely by Trast and Davide Turrizzi. Just 0.7 seconds covered the top 4, with Jack Hammer, the reigning champion, taking his first victory of the season.
The Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia was the stage for race 3. A first lap incident saw Jack Hammer and Daniele Aloe in 10th and 11th place. Meanwhile, Trast was leading up front until the rain started to fall.
That meant it was time for the first flag to flag of 2024. Trast led the riders into the pit to change to their second bikes.
However, Gas Factory Racing Tech 3's Keinster rolled the dice to stay out in wet conditions on slick tyres for 2 whole laps.
Until Trast regained first place, he relinquished at the bike swap to cross the line for his first victory of the season ahead of reigning champion Jack Hammer and championship leader Daniele Aloe.
Race 4 at the Ricardo Tormo circuit in Valencia began with a technical issue. Jack Hammer crashed out at turn 1 and couldn't rejoin, leaving the door open for Adrian to hit the front, followed closely throughout the race by Daniele Aloe, Trast and Davide Turrizzi.
At the end, it would be Adrian to hold on for his first victory of 2024. We come out of that final race with Daniele Aloe retaining his championship lead and increasing his tally over reigning champion Jack Hammer, while Trast and Adrian follow close behind the British rider in the points.
And now there's not long to wait until we return to the track. We'll be back for the season finale on November 22nd, where this year's MotoGP Esport champion will be crowned at Milan Games Week.
Well, we are poised here at Milan Games Week for the Global Series Grand Final. And, well, I've got to say, I'm very pleased to join you, Connor, and, of course, Max here over at the desk. So it's going to be an incredible event. And you two were speaking so glowingly earlier on about the riders. And, of course, we're going to see the standings now of how all riders come into this event.
Here we have it then. Daniele Aloe leading. He's followed by Jack Hammer. Trast is behind them. Then it's Adrian, Davide Turrizzi, Piero Ricciuti, followed by Flavio Baldacci, Spadalongo, Keinster, and behind them Deepo Akbar, Exarok, and Tysox.
Well, we just saw the standings there, and of course it is Daniele Aloe on course for potentially his first MotoGP Esport Championship. And of course we've got big points on offer today. We've got 125 points. I must remind you, 125 points on offer. You can see there for the sprint winner, they will get a full 25 points. However, races 5 and 6, there are 50 points on offer for each. So, well, it's going to be one to not miss indeed. And of course, well, we've got the champion potentially coming on board and Daniele Aloe, but we've got 3 champions already in terms of Trast, Adrian, and of course our reigning champion, Jack Hammer. And, well, I'll just have to ask you, Max, first of all, Daniele Aloe, potential on course for his first World Championship. You're a 4-time World Champion, you've won 3 of those at the final round. What do you feel like he will be feeling ahead of this final event?
Well, I don't know what to say, but it looks like he have a little bit gap, Daniele Aloe compared to the guy who followed. But with so much point now, we have more than 100 points. I think it will be, again, it's easy from starting from the white paper. Anyone can win. I see the old world champion. He have a big intention to do it again. So I don't know what to say, but I'm very enthusiastic to see this race, these 3 races, And maybe he can do it again. Eh? Maybe he looks very comfortable.
The face of a confident man. Jack Hammer is the reigning champion. Is he going to be able to do it this time as well? He's already got the pole award, which of course he sealed last year as well. So he's got his credentials there. He knows what he needs to do. The question is whether, now that we're here, he's going to be able to do it. The competition is so fierce.
It is indeed. We've got so many champions and potential one more waiting. And here is our most experienced, our most glowing champion, Trask, three-time world champion. Just one off of you, Max, in terms of the Grand Prix series, a few off you in terms of total. What is it like to come into a final event as the champion, as the one that maybe has the biggest target on their back?
Yeah, from the guys who already did in the past, it's something a little more easier, but you never know because the pressure always can play against you. But it's a high championship level, and I see all these guys with a big talent because you need to be talent to do this kind of game. So. You know, I have big respect for them.
Yeah, they've all got big respect. I mean, that's why we're standing here, because we're not quite as good at the game as they are, and that's why they are the glowing talents. Of course, one of the biggest talents is our two-time champion, Adrian. And Connor, he's been absolutely brilliant at round 2 of the Global Series.
Yeah, absolutely. He was incredible for me, the star of round 2. Maybe a bit slow getting going in round 1, but in round 2, we saw the reason why he's already been crowned as world champion twice in MotoGP eSports. He showed us exactly what he's capable of, and I think that he's more than capable of delivering once again as well.
Yeah, he will be indeed. Of course, there's so many that can take the title here. Everyone is in with a chance with 125 points on the board, and one of them is our rookie, Deepo Akbar for Gresini Racing, who has been utterly incredible. I know the Indonesian fans will be going wild for Deepo Akbar. There he is on screen. He seems to be a little bit confused. It's like, where am I? Here we are.
Yeah,
and Deepo, as a rookie, Max, he's been utterly brilliant. And how it must be so difficult for someone to come in and establish their name right away.
Yeah, for the rookie it's always difficult in any discipline, of course. But this one, I think, more young you are, maybe you have a better chance. I have to say, I don't know. Of course, you know, the experience play always a big role, but you know, when you're young, I don't know, looks like some extra, you know, in your hand.
Yeah, he does indeed. And of course, we're going to move on to somebody that you're not going to know as a representative, ambassador, and obviously a champion of Aprilia. We now have Davide Turrisi, who seems to be in the zone at the moment. And Max, as someone that's also part of Aprilia, this is a big moment for him.
Yeah, I need to support him, you know why, because I have the same name here. But I know this is a critical moment, and everyone is thinking, you know, to do the best thing, and they'll play everything in these races, so I can imagine the pressure.
And Connor, Davide Turrisi so far this year he's been incredibly fast, but maybe just a few mistakes.
Yeah, those mistakes have been really costly as well, I think. He just needs to make sure that he can keep his calm, stay collected throughout the race, be focused, and we saw him very much in the zone there as well.
Yeah, he was well and truly in the zone. Next one we have up is Piero Ricciuti, the LCR rider. And of course, I did see him in the bathroom just before we started. He was getting himself in the zone. It was like, I need to just get rid of the nerves. But he looks ready to go. And of course, he's another rider that is well and truly ready.
That was confidence right there, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I am ready for this.
He is indeed one of the riders that's ready to go. And of course, next up, we have the rider sitting to his left, another rookie, XL Rock, the Thai rider. He joined us for round 2, but he's been another rider that's been very, very fast and incredibly talented as well.
I think the key aspect here is the fact that he's a rookie, he's coming in, he's already competing with world champions. It's so difficult to do that. And he's shown us what he can do. We've seen a number of riders coming in and competing at the highest level. Keinster's one of them as well. He's come out with enormous support here. Just in front of me, we have a big Germany flag with a 28, and you can hear them screaming now. Look, he looks very happy and very much in the zone.
Yeah, he is indeed. And for Keinster, obviously he's got a lot of support, blows them a kiss as well. And Max, that must be something that's a big support. Must give you a little bit more energy as a rider.
Yeah,
as a
of course, I can understand that. But you know, the consistency for them is very important. To be fast is important, but over the 3 races, you need to be very consistent. You know, like look Martin what he did last week in Barcelona. So sometimes even if you're not the fastest, but to be consistent is very important.
It is indeed, and we just saw, you spoke of Jorge Martin there, we just saw the rider that is racing for Pramac Racing, Flavio Baldacci, another rider that's got so much speed, and of course he will be well and truly in this as well. Another rider that's part of the show, big way from Baldacci there. We've got Spadalongo. He's telling me earlier on he has a bit of a plan maybe for one of the races later on. He told me not to tell anyone, but
keep it on the down low.
But Max, when you're talking about thinking about races, how much do you think about ahead? How easy is it to plan the start?
Well, you know, you always think to the first of all to the start. You know, very key point the start, and then the first lap. Try to memorize and all the corner, but also to see other guys how they go into the corner. Try to not be in there in the right moment. You know, try to avoid the trouble. So many things going on.
Yeah, it can be very difficult for 11 of our riders. We did see them all there. They're ready to go. And this is how everything gears up ahead of the first race of the day, the sprint at Jerez.
Let's take a look at the sprint info then ahead of this battle in Andalucía. At this Circuito de Jerez, Ángel Nieto, 4.4 kilometers for our gamers to get to grips with, 8 right turns for them to try and tackle, and of course 5 left turns as well.
Opened in 1987, the Jerez de la Frontera circuit is one track that everyone will be hoping to conquer with the 13 turns, and of course you've got to watch out for Lorenzo Corner at the end of the lap. So it's going to be one and truly big battle ahead of this sprint here in Jerez, and of course Max, it's a track that you know extremely well.
Yeah, it's one of the lovely tracks. It's always happened for us during the championship. The first European races always was Jerez, and you know the people that I see there with a lot of a lot of fan of motorcycle. I never seen other part of the world. Maybe in Asia sometime, but Jerez was one of the most popular track.
Was that a circuit that you enjoyed well?
Yeah, you know, normally riders enjoy a track where they can win, but it was one of my, favorite.
Well, we'll see how the gamers are gearing up as we now get ready for the sprint in Jerez. So we're now getting ready for the battle at the Circuit de Jerez, Ángel Nieto at the Andalucían circuit, and of course our 11 riders are ready to rock and roll down.
Absolutely. Daniele Eloy is the rider with that target on their back, currently leading in the standings. But of course, he's going to be having to approach this maybe a bit like Jorge Martin approached the races at the end of the season. He needs to stay on that back. He needs to finish these races as high up as possible. He needs to not maybe take all the risks that other gamers here do have to take.
Yeah, consistency is king, as we saw in MotoGP this year. Pecco Bagnaia took most of the victories. He was racing for Ducati Lenovo, as is Daniele Eloy. And Max, there's a bit of pressure under Daniele Eloy, the young shoulders of the Italian.
Yeah, it's, pressure's there, but like I say one more time, to be consistent, you need to finish all races. And to finish first you have to finish. So this is always the same. So hopefully they can do a good job, and I like to see clean start. So let's see if they can have a good start and without any crashes.
It's a difficult thing to ask for in this game, I can promise you that.
I know.
Yeah, we just saw the MotoGPeSport trophy, so that's where all the pressure's coming from. And then we cut to our 3-time champion there. However, we now get to go to the grid, and of course, it was Adrian taking pole position of Daniele Eloy and Piero Ricciuti on the front row. Then, on the second row is our reigning champion, Jack Hammer, also our Tissot Pole Award winner. Davide Teresi, you'll be cheering him on. Max, Aprilia rider, Aprilia ambassador. Flavio Baldacci on the outside of row 2. Then, heading row number 3, Trast. mired back in 7th position ahead of Kainsta. Big cheers for Kainsta and the crowd, and of course Spadalongo for the VR46 Ducati team. And on row number 4 we have the rookie. It is Exer Rock, just ahead of the Gresini Racing rider Deepo Akbar. So that's how the grid lines up ahead of the sprint here in Jerez. So as the revs rise, we've got 4 laps ahead of us here at Jerez. It is Adrian from pole position. Alongside him is your championship leader Daniele Loy, and lights out, and we're off on the run up to turn number 1. The right-hander can be so difficult, but that Ducati whole shot advice has been used to great effect here with Daniele Loy taking the lead. However, he's run a bit deep. Contact there between Adrian and Daniele Loy. That could have been disaster for your championship leader, bumping and boring further back. And that's Spadalongo from the 3rd row. Spadalongo is up to 3rd, so what a start there for the Italian.
Spadalongo, the plan worked, right? The plan worked.
It did indeed. I don't think it was for this one, but of course it did work indeed. There's Jackhammer, a great start there from the reigning champion. He had a bit of a tough time off the start. However, as we run down towards Pedrosa Corner, there's so many incidents could happen here. But Adrian, he's off and running at the front. Max, this is where he needs to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very difficult thing to do, to maintain that position at the front. I don't know if that means that for you as a rider, there's more pressure if you've got no one ahead of you.
Yeah, I think a clean track is much easier, but I can understand how the KTM guys pass the Spadalongo from inside, in the left turn. It looks very unreal, but it was crazy.
Oh, Jackhammer is a champion for a reason, isn't he? As he's chasing his main rival. The championship leader has run a bit deep as Daniele bumping and boring, elbow to elbow, swapping pain, and back again.
Baldacci's got
down. So, yeah, big shame there for Baldacci. Baldacci has gone down. He will be able to rejoin. Here we go, into Lorenzo Corda, the scene of so many iconic moments. But for the time being, Jackhammer's got the run out of turn 13 as they come across the line. It's going to be Adrian leading the way from Jackhammer, and Daniele Alois will complete lap number 1. And this has brought Spadalongo into the mix as well.
Yeah, this is absolutely the battle to be watching. Daniele Alois and Jackhammer, 1st and 2nd in the championship for the time being. This is a battle that is so incredible. Keep your eyes fixed on this as Daniele Alois chases down the reigning world champion. We've just seen another crash there for Flavio Baldacci as well.
We just saw the live championship standings come up. 18 points it would be between Daniele Alois and Jackhammer if it were to stay as is. But if we know anything in eSport, it will not stay like this for very long. And Max, now that Jackhammer's into 2nd, what do you think his game plan might be to try and close in and attack Adrian?
Well, I think, maybe it's not so easy to overtake here on braking, because I see on the straight they are quite similar the speed, but I see in corner they can make so different and steep turn. Maybe, I don't know, a different setup of the bikes. For sure they play big time. Huh?
Yeah, and we are seeing Adrian is leading. He's of course Spanish, and I have a question that I actually wanted to ask you earlier. Does home advantage work in your favor or against you? Because you've got so much pressure from the fans. How does it work? Yeah,
normally your home track you always have an extra pressure, but also sometimes it's good pressure. Depends of the day, of the time, also of the riders.
Oh, we've got Adrian starting to jump over there, Max, and that's Daniele Alois taking advantage of both from 3rd to 1st. The championship leader, he wants this. He's gunning for the championship. Side by side, up the hill into turn 1. Who's going to take it? Adrian swept around the outside. What home advantage or disadvantage? But Jackhammer, your champion, this is great stuff from the top 3 as Daniele Alois. Oh, he's just nerfed Adrian a little bit wide there, and now it's Jackhammer from Daniele Alois. And further back, we've had a bit of an incident between Baldacci, Akbar and Trasso. Disaster for your 3-time champion.
Yeah, Jackhammer now in the lead, but this is not necessarily going to finish like this. This is such a tense battle. Jackhammer leading for the time being from Daniele Alois and Adrian, but Adrian from pole position was doing so well for so long. He knows what it's like to win here. He did win back in 2020, and he won on home soil, of course, in Valencia as well, which is why I asked you whether it was going to be an advantage or not. This is getting exciting as we go into this straight here.
And Max, as a rider in Daniele Alois' position, who is gunning for the championship, 24-point lead, do you think, will you be, as an ex-rider, as an ex-champion, chasing after your main rival, or do you just take the points?
Well, I just try to be as close as possible, and then maybe do not risk so much, because there is another 2 races. But I see before another very nice block pass, you know, like in the MotoGP, they can stop early and turn, you know, very tight. You know, even in the MotoGPeSport is possible.
It is indeed. It seems incredible what they're doing out there as Jack Hammer just squared off the apex of the corner. So,
right. Like V-corner.
A V-corner, yes. A very incredible way to shape off the corners. We now start the final lap of the sprint. Daniele Aloi is closing in. He isn't giving this one up. He's not taking the points. He wants to take the points back off Jack Hammer. Jack Hammer's in prime position for the moment to close in that championship advantage. This is going down to the final corner. It's going down to Lorenzo corner, where we've seen so many incidents in the past. What can Daniele Aloi do? Will he try and get the advantage as they run up through turn 5? Sito Pons corner, down the hill. They will go in towards Pedrosa.
He's absolutely going to be going for it. I mean, this is the rivalry that we've seen so far in this 2024 campaign in MotoGP Esports. He just needs to make his move at the right time. He's only going to have one chance. He's going to go for it now. Oh my word! On the inside, Daniele Aloi. Can he make it stick? It looks like
he can. Unbelievable from Daniele Aloi, your championship leader. He's going all the line, but Jack Hammer comes back. Over the grass we go. Side by side stuff, and towards the stadium section we go. The crowd are cheering round the outside. You cannot do that, but Jack Hammer's trying it.
This is absolutely incredible. Max, this reminds me of some of your battles as well.
Well, it looks like Marquez and Pecco this year.
He's gone down. He's lost the front. The Caribbean corner.
Oh, well, this is Jack Hammer to lose now after such a frustrating mistake from Daniele Aloi. Oh, we just said that he needs to try and stay on that bike.
He had to do it. Jack Hammer will come across the line for victory here in the Tissot Sprint at Jerez. Daniele Aloi threw it all on the line, but came a cropper at Crevier corner. But Jack Hammer there, you can see the pressure just being lifted off his shoulders.
So
relaxed. That was relief. That was pure relief.
God.
Unbelievable action towards the end of that one, and there he is, Jack Hammer.
Is that relaxed? Is that relaxed, Max?
No.
He's done what he needs to do if he wants to retain his crown in this opening sprint. Here we have the results then. Jack Hammer with that win, followed by Adrian and Spadalongo on the podium. Absolutely incredible from the Italian, followed by Piero Ricciuti and Trast. Keinster finished P6, Thibaut Akbar with a very impressive P7, followed by Daniele Aloi, who was at the front of the race for so long, who finally finishes in P8, Exarog in P9, Davide Teresi in 10th, and Flavio Baldacci in P11.
Well, what else can you say about that one? Our first race of the day was packed to the rafter, bumper to bumper action all the way through, and at the end it came down towards Jack Hammer and Daniele Aloi. But Daniele Aloi just lost it through Crevier corner, and Jack Hammer took victory to close in the championship standings. And Max, I just want to come to you first of all. For Jack Hammer, that was, he needed to do that.
Yeah, he did a good job, and you know, the other guy went out, you know, in too fast, and then he lost the front. I didn't see well, but unfortunately he made mistake. But he have another 2 races to show his potential, but it was a nice race to watch.
Yeah, that was such an exciting race to watch, and I think it's very important what Max just said. We've got 2 races left and 100 points at stake, Liam, so it's still to play for. Yeah,
it is indeed. We've now looking at your current championship leader, Daniele Aloi. That was a big disaster for him.
It doesn't look happy, eh?
It is indeed. They're right next to each other, the 2 main rivals, and yeah, there's no love lost, I don't think, now between the top 2. So, Jack Hammer there keeps his head down, refocusing after that victory, a big victory. And last year, that's how he took his championship. He was brilliant in the finale, and once again, he's showing his class.
He looks so relaxed, you know. I think he's good concentration and doesn't look have any weak points. So maybe this is one of his ability. You know, when you're gaming, also you need to be very relaxed and try to be focused.
Well, he was cool, calm and collected was Jack Hammer, and now we're going to see how he took victory in the sprint. So, as we got ready to rock and roll in Jerez, it was Daniele Aloi that ran a bit deep into the first corner, and Adrian and Daniele Aloi, a bit of contact, but that would not be the first time, nor the last, from the top three, as Spadalongo from the third row of the grid managed to get himself into the podium contention. However, Jack Hammer, it was hammer time for the reigning champion as he came back through the field up the inside, but retaliation from Daniele Aloy. These two meant everything. However, Daniele Aloy saw a door open, he took it for the lead as we crossed the line with 2 laps to go. Side-by-side action from the top three. This was utterly incredible stuff, but it would be Daniele Aloy and Jack Hammer going hammer to tongue in the closing stages of this race after Adrian just got nerfed out a little bit wide at turn 2 by Daniele Aloy. As we entered the closing stages of the race, it was Daniele Aloy and Jack Hammer, Pecco Bagnaia and Martin Marquez style through turns 8 and 9, the stadium section. But this was the big talking point. Daniele Aloy tucked the front as he went through Crivier Corner, and Jack Hammer stayed on to take victory. And you can see how much that means to Jack Hammer and his quest for title glory in 2024.
After that incredibly exciting opening sprint, well, Liam, that was just exactly what we needed to see. I mean, they gave everything. They gave absolutely everything. My heart's beating. I can only imagine what it's like on stage here at Milan Games Week for these riders.
I must admit, I can't understand how much they must be filled with adrenaline right, because right now I'm shaking after that one. That was utterly incredible stuff. And of course, we've got 2 more races to go. It's a bit longer the next 2 of the main races, but for sprint action, that is exactly what you want. So utterly incredible stuff. And well, Adrian, he was in the mix. He did come across the line for a very potent and podium position. And of course, he's another rider. He might have lost out to Jack Hammer, Max, but he has closed in on the championship overall.
You know what I think? Watching the race, this guy, Daniele Aloy, was the fastest out there. And with the mistake he did, I think now you have to play all in. So you have to look for a win and try to save it, because the other KTM riders looks very consistent. So it will be very nice to see how the second race will go.
Yeah, as a rider, how do you bounce back from that immediately going into another race?
Well, you know, when you have a chance to race immediately is the best thing that you can do it, you know. Like in Superbike, for example, Saturday and Sunday, there is also now in the MotoGP. It's a cool story, because you can have a revenge right away, or you forget something, some bad result from the previous race.
Yes, so we're going to look at the championship standings very shortly, and this is how it looks going into race number 5 of the series.
Yeah, it's Daniele Aloy who's still leading despite that disappointing crash, followed by Jack Hammer. That rivalry really coming alive. Adrian is currently 3rd and Trast is in 4th. Our two-time and 3-time former world champions respectively. David Terese in 5th, Piero Ricciuti in 6th, Spadalongo in 7th after that fantastic ride in Jerez. He's followed by Flavio Baldacci, Keinster behind him. And then we've got Deepo Akbar, Exarock and Tysox.
Well, that's how the championship standings do look. It's quite mouth-watering ahead of races 5 and 6 here at the Global Series Grand Final in Milan. And of course, we now have what is going to be the first of our big main races at Mugello. And of course, Max is very well adverse to the outtakings and of the course the challenges of Mugello, and this course is going to be one of the big ones as we look towards Mugello and Tuscany for race number 5.
Here we have our race 5 info, only 2 hours away from where we are in Milan here. It's at Mugello, 5.2 kilometers for our gamers to get to grips with, 9 right turns. And of course, those are accompanied by 6 left turns. It's a tough one for them.
Yeah, of course, the Mugello circuit opened by Ferrari. The 15 turns have got undulation through the valley section. Sector 1 is where you can make all the difference on the brakes and towards the right-hander. Then Casanova Cervelli before you hit turn sector number 3 before Arrabbiata 1, Arrabbiata 2 setting up the downhill right-hander before the left towards the end of the lap. And of course, and towards the final corner where we've seen so many last lap overtakes, and you can cross the line for victory in Mugello. Well, of course, the stage is now set for 2 more races. Mugello is next up, and of course, the Italian Daniele Aloy, after that disastrous round in Jerez, will be looking to bounce back as well. Another Italian, a rider that has tasted so much championship glory. Trast, the 3-time champion, and of course he needs to bounce back because Jerez was a little bit difficult, but Connor, he's a rider that knows how to bounce back.
Absolutely, there's a reason why he's here. He's our veteran gamer. He's been getting better and better as this series goes on. Maybe a little bit difficult at the beginning in round one, but since then he's been one to watch, and of course in that flag to flag race in Malaysia he was absolutely sensational. And another rider who's really impressed me so far today, Deepo Akbar, in that sprint in Jerez. Well, what about that, Liam?
Yeah, it's been utterly incredible. We can't expect anything less from Deepo Akbar. He doesn't qualify so well so far this year. However, his racecraft, just picking the right moment, is utterly incredible, and he's able to finish a lot higher up than when he starts. And of course, the rider to his left, Keinsta, the German rider with such a massive following there. He's another rider that when it comes to anything that could be thrown as a curveball, Corner, he's a rider that likes to risk it.
Risk it is the word. Audacious, tenacity. I can't say how wonderful it is to see how brave he was in that flag to flag race in Malaysia, trying to stay out. That showed just how audacious he is and how much he wants it. He wants to get onto that podium and even win.
Yeah, so with that being said, we may have some curveballs thrown our direction in the way of Mugello. Who knows what can happen there, because it's now time to race at Mugello. So the scene is set in the Tuscan hillsides of Mugello. The crowd are waiting for this one. 11 riders are ready to go racing in Mugello, and of course it's one of the most picturesque and beautiful circuits around the world. And as we can see, it looks like the weather gods have made a turn for the worst, and this is throwing a curveball the way of the riders in Mugello. And Max, you're very well known to some wet weather conditions, and of course podium conditions in the wet around Mugello.
Well, Mugello is fantastic track, but I see some drop, so it makes for the rider much more critical, also to set up their bike. And also in Mugello compared to Jerez, the top speed is way higher, so it's over 340 km/h. So depends on the way they set up the bike, but also it's crucial at the end of the straight. It's very easy to overbrake and maybe to pass, but in this condition, I don't know. I'm very curious to see how they adapt on the wet track.
You took a podium in 2001 aboard the 500cc.
Yeah.
How difficult, if you've got advice to the riders, what do they have to do in these wet conditions?
Well, that time there is no even traction control. Now there are so many, many electronic systems. So again, try to set up the bike in the best ways possible and try to be consistent for the long distance of the race.
Yeah, and as championship contenders, as we just saw on screen there, Jack Hammer and Daniele Aloy, their nerves must be going through a lot right now, especially in the wet conditions.
Yeah, that's the condition you don't really dream about, to make one of the final on this condition, on this kind of surface. It makes critical, but sometimes some rider can make a big surprise, even if it's not fast and dry, but the wet can be so fast.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Max. Anything can happen here in wet conditions, and we expect something from a lot of these riders, potentially riders that don't usually get a chance at the front. What contrasted your 3-time champion? He's trying to bounce back after a tough Jerez, as is your championship leader, Daniele Aloy, from the middle of the second row. However, his main championship rival, Jack Hammer, is just next to him on row 2. Flavio Baldacci, he'll be looking for a big result here at his home circuit, as well Spadalongo on the GP23, with Keinsta on the outside of row number 3. And then on row 4, we look for Deepo Akbar, the Indonesian rider. What can he do in the wet conditions? And Exa Rock rounds out your runners and riders ahead of this 8-lap race. Race number 5 at Mugello. So as we get ready for lights on, we will be ready for lights out just as the clutch drops any moment now. A Honda 1-2 at the front, and we're watching Trast. He got a sluggish start, however, here comes Davide Turrisi. Davide Turrisi, the Aprilia rider, bumping and boring with the 2 Hondas. Daniele Aloy from the second row. He's coming through for the lead, not quite, as Davide Turrisi takes lead on board the Aprilia, but it's Adrian who's muscled his way back to the front. But Trast, we thought he got a sluggish start, but he's back into lead. There's some moments further back, runned out wide, but Jack Hammer just ahead of us, trying to go round the outside of Trast and Adrian.
Yeah, absolutely. In these conditions, we're going to see Adrian and Trast doing incredibly well, I think, because there are two-time and 3-time champions. They've had more races than anyone else. And of course, they both won here as well. Trast won back in 2021, 2022 and 2023, whereas Adrian won back in 2020.
Yeah, some big names have done very well around this circuit. And Davide Turisi, after that mega start, is coming out of some pressure from your three-time champ Trast. And this is just allowing Adrian and Jackhammer to just get away ever so slightly. But Daniele Aloi, he needs to start making some moves now. He's mired back deep in the pack of fifth, and he's now making the move. He's logged up one, he's gone for two. He's run a little bit deep. This has allowed Trast back up the inside, and Trast goes from fourth to third and back again. As Daniele Aloi is fighting with all his might to gain back as many points as he possibly can. However, Turisi's having none of it.
Yeah, Turisi. Oh, what a move he attempted there. Daniele Aloi, he's recovered really well. Now he's trying to just make sure that he stays in this fight for the podium, but it's not going to be easy when you've got someone with Trast's experience ahead of him.
Yeah, you can see how much he's fighting. He's trying to gain back all he can. But it's Adrian leading the way on board. The Repsol Honda just ahead of your reigning champion on board. The Red Bull KTM factory racing team. Now as we come over the crest of the hill, down the 300+ kilometre straight, it is Adrian leading the way from Jackhammer and Trast in third. And your championship leader, Daniele Aloi, he's got a lot of work to do from fourth.
Just look at that spray as well. These conditions are so treacherous, so difficult to be able to get to grips with. And for the time being, well, these leading gamers at the front are doing so well.
Yeah, they are indeed. They're really showing why they are truly world class on board the MotoGP machines. And Max, when it comes to these conditions at Mugello, I can imagine all of it is extremely tricky, but where is the most difficult part of the circuit? Not just in the dry, but also in the wet.
I think there is every corner is very more difficult compared to the dry. But anyway, I'm very surprised to see how much angle, and also on the white line, the curves, in this condition they can find a grip, which is very complicated. But the bike looks very stable. I don't know the setup they're using, but looks like there is a good grip. It looks like.
Yeah, it does.
It looks like.
It looks like.
I was going to say back when you were riding the 500s or when you were racing the MotoGP bikes, when you touched a white line, that would be game over.
There's no even thing to touch the white line.
No grab whatsoever. And Daniele Aloi, as we were just talking away, he's lost a position to Spada Longo. So the young Italian rider is really starting to show form here in Mugello, and Daniele Aloi is going backwards. Turisi, he doesn't mind getting his elbows out, does he?
Absolutely
The Aprilia
not.
rider's going for fifth. He can't do it right.
Fabio's down. Fabio Baldacci's gone down.
That's a big shame for Baldacci, the Prima Pramac Racing rider. However, we are watching, quite importantly, this battle for fifth and sixth. As Daniele Aloi is watching his championship advantage slip through his fingers. Davide Turisi is just winding the wick up as we come across the start-finish line any moment, but it is Adrian from Jackhammer Trast, Spada Longo and Daniele Aloi from Turisi, and Piero Ricciuti as well is coming into this one.
Yeah, Ricciuti started from P2. I think he's been really impressive. It's just maybe lacking a little bit of luck. He's still got time to get back into this race and try and fight his way up through the pack and towards the front. Here we are with Trast now, who is right on the back wheel of Jackhammer. These three, they were so good
there we go.
year.
Sorry to jump over you there, Connor. Davide Turisi's got past Daniele Aloi.
Oh.
So that's disaster. Here comes Ricciuti as well, and can't make it stick. I don't know about you two, however, it looks like it might be starting to get a little bit lighter out there in the circuit.
Yeah, it does look like it's getting a bit drier out there. I'm not going to be the one to judge that. The riders will have to make any decision of their own volition, but this could make it a lot more interesting, Liam.
It could indeed. Just remember, we did have changeable conditions back at Sepang, and of course it was Kaimsta that took the brave pill and decided to stay out until the very end. It didn't work out for him then, but could it work out for him or any of the other riders? Now as Trast goes for a move on Jackhammer, he's made it stick, so Trast has got some incredible speed at this stage of the race. He's now gunning after his second most qualified champion in the field, Adrian. These two we've seen over the years have just had so much rivalry, so many battles, and there they are, our three champions from the helicopter shot in one picture. That is what you love to see.
Yeah, absolutely. This is such a close race. There's still so much left for us to enjoy in these three. Well, it's a historic rivalry between Adrian and Trast. It goes way back to the very start of this MotoGP eSport competition. Jackhammer's thrown his hat into the ring, and now he's going to be desperate to overtake these two as well.
Yeah, Jackhammer might just be playing his cards correct here, might just be boxing clever. He knows that he's ahead of Daniele Aloi. That's what he needs to do. However, with these two battling in the front, Trast has got the run in Adrian. Around the outside goes Trast. That is why he is a 3-time champion in eSport. Adrian has to settle for second for the time being. And I must say, I'll echo what I said one lap ago. That looks like it's almost dry.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no more spray on that back wheel for the riders. I wonder if anyone's going to go into the pits, Liam.
Yeah, I can imagine we're about to see some pit stops potentially. I wonder if anyone will try and brave it out to the very, very end. But Max, some bike swaps in MotoGP is something that you just missed out on, but I believe you might have tried it in World Superbike.
Well, I think now it's stopped raining, and maybe one of them, for sure, few. Oh, what happened?
Oh, we just moved to Adrian, so nothing happened. Everything's okay.
Oh, maybe soon we will see some change on tires, but I don't know how much difficult can be because the gap between slick on this condition, rain, maybe it's not so much at the moment, but maybe in a few laps it will be even bigger, this gap.
Must be extremely difficult out there for the riders. And now if we throw the flag out now, the championship advantage goes the way of Trast. That's what happens with these big point events. You get 50 points for the victory, and of course if you're sitting fourth in the championship, with the way it's finishing right now, Connor, it could be going the way of Trast.
Yeah, absolutely incredible from Trast, and I think maybe we expected it from as well. He's been so good historically in Mugello. It's his home track. He's so good here. Just look at that concentration right there. He knows what he needs to do, and he's been on the podium 5 times here, Liam, 3 of which were wins.
Yeah, they were indeed. He's gunning for his 4th victory. Will we see anyone coming for a big swap? We will. Trast is coming.
Oh, Trast!
Oh my goodness.
Trast, what about that?
This is something for the book. He's throwing the kitchen sink at this one, and Trast has come in early as Adrian and Jackhammer have said, we don't think it's quite time to switch just yet.
Extra Rock as well, Flavio Baldacci. This is getting interesting. It's these kind of tactical things which we enjoy so much currently in MotoGP.
It's utterly incredible, and timing this right is what will make or break this race. And I'm glad I'm not one that's playing along with this one because it looks incredible. Well, Adrian leads away for now, Jackhammer in second, and well, Trast, who was your early race leader, did pit for slicks for a bike swap, and Extra Rock and Flavio Baldacci followed him in.
Well, if it stays like this, well, it'd be Jackhammer who would be leading in the rider standings. This is absolutely sensational. Adrian would move up to second. Daniele Aloi would drop down to third, so that just goes to show anyone can win here.
Daniele Aloi is having a nightmare, as you quite rightly pointed out there, Connor. And Max, when it comes to riding in these conditions, when it is drying up, the wet tires start to overheat a little bit. It turns into sort of chewing gum.
Well, maybe Trast make good choice. You know, it was the first one, but what's strange to me that it was leading and it was even the first one to pitting. So I don't know. Maybe you already feel some different on tires, and maybe he was the one to make good moves. Well, we will see now after 1 or 2 laps.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting indeed, won't it?
Well, only 3 laps to go. Eh?
Yeah.
3 laps to go. Will Adrian or Jackhammer make that switch, or will they stay out and allow Trast potentially on those slick tires to come back at them? And the rider that is honing into view ever so slightly is a big yellow highlighter, basically. It is Spadalonga who is closing in on your top 2. Now, will we see a piss up? No, we won't. They may have just missed the crossing point. Adrian, Jackhammer, Spadalonga and Daniele Aloi all stay out.
Look at Jackhammer there. What about that? He got such drive there. But there is Adrian still leading. Is Jackhammer going to be able to make a move here? It's going to be so difficult. He's trying to get there on the inside line. He's narrowing that gap, but not enough. It's still Adrian who leads here.
We've got to keep a close eye on the gap from Trast to your leaders. It is coming down bit by bit, sector by sector. Only a couple of tenths so far on this lap. Maybe he took the wrong decision here. We can now see Jackhammer and Adrian battling for the victory. Here is Trast on screen. You can see those slick tyres as he barrels into the first corner. And aboard the Monster Energy Yamaha racing team, has he made the right call? It's so hard to tell right now.
It's so hard to tell right now, but as you said, Liam, that gap is coming down. The issue is it coming down fast enough? Because he needs to get it down. It's coming down quickly at the time being, but I'm not sure if it's coming down enough, and these two who are leading the race are doing so well.
Well, remember back to Sepang, we weren't quite sure if Trast made the right call to come in for the wet tyres. However, we were completely wrong, and Trast did time it absolutely perfect to take his only victory so far in 24.
Yeah, there's a reason why he's a 3-time world champion and we're not, Liam.
Exactly, yeah. He knows how to do it. So does the man sitting between us, Max Biaggi. Knows how to...
Well, it looks like
you're right. So Jack Hammer back into the lead of the race after that mistake by Adrian. So easy to do, runs across the curb. Now Jack Hammer, the ball is in his court. However, on this lap, Trask has taken 6 seconds out of your leaders.
It's coming.
Cue the Jaws music.
Yeah, look at it. It's coming down quickly now. There's still time for Trask to get through this field. I think he might have made the right decision here.
I think you might be right there, Connor. 6 seconds in one lap. The gap as it come across the line is 12 seconds. So Jack Hammer, with 2 laps to go, leads from Adrian, and Spadalongo rounds out your podium. But looming into shot there is your current championship leader, Daniele, in 4th. This could potentially be what he needs. It looked like the race had completely gone from Daniele Aloy, but he's now starting to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the difference between Daniele Aloy last season and Daniele Aloy this season. He's been so good. That experience from his rookie season has really paid off. I mean, he'd never won before this year, and then he showed us exactly what he was capable of doing in round 1.
He has indeed. Now, it looks like Adrian might be struggling a little bit more than the riders around him. Jack Hammer took the lead at the end of the previous lap. He's run a little bit deep as Jack Hammer. Almost touched the green on there. You don't want to be touching those white lines. It could be Highside City if that's the case. But here comes Daniele Aloy. We just saw him loom into shot up towards Arrabbiata 1 as you then swing it right once more for Arrabbiata 2. So tricky, this uphill section of the circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. And Max, how do you think these riders are going to be managing their tyres as well? It's the end of the race. We're into the final stages.
I don't know. I think the tires start to moving around, and I think who of these riders can have a better setup and also don't really destroy the rear tire, it can have some big effect, especially on the last straight. Then it's very easy to overtake by have a good drive from Bucci in the corner.
Absolutely.
Which is last corner.
Yeah, look at the Michelin wet tyres. Okay, now here comes Ricciuti. Wow, my goodness, he went for it.
Oh, can he make a mistake? It doesn't look like it. Oh, that was calm from Daniele Aloy. He had Ricciuti coming up the inside there.
He's got him coming back at him once again. He pulls to the left-hand side of the circuit. Now we start the final lap of the race. Jack Hammer looks like he might be taking the championship lead.
4 seconds.
Oh, well, indeed, well spotted there, Max. 4 seconds. Trask is off the back of this pack as these 5 squabble between themselves.
Yeah, and they're squabbling between themselves. It's going to play into Trask's hands as well. All of this bickering, this chopping and changing is working in Trask's favour.
It is indeed, as Daniele Aloy, he is in the wars at the moment. If he was wanting some help from his fellow Italians, he's got absolutely none of it. Everyone is out there for themselves, and it is Spadalongo, who was in 3rd only moments ago. He slipped back to 5th, but Trask, the gap is coming down, but is it too little, too late? 2 seconds is the gap for Trask to the back of Depot Akbar, but it looks like it might be a little bit too much to ask for.
Yeah, it was always going to be a difficult decision to make. It's Jack Hammer who's still leading on this final lap. He's doing so well. Look at that concentration. In those eyes, there is nothing but focus. Jack Hammer leading. He needs to be calm. He needs to be collected. He needs to let all the riders behind him bicker between themselves. And he just needs to remain focused on what's left.
And it's such a sentiment to the Michelin wet tyres that they've been able to hold so brilliantly in these dry conditions. And Jack Hammer, barring a mistake, it looks like he might just have this one sewing up as Adrian holding on for all of his might for that 2nd spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And just at the back there, it is Trask who set the fastest lap at 1:42.051. It just doesn't seem to be enough.
Yeah, such a shame for Trask. However, Piero Ricciuti looking for 2nd spot. There's no Honda tactics there. It looks like he might have just punted Adrian Wide, and Daniele Aloy's managed to get past Adrian as well. Yes, he has. However, it will be hammer time for Jack Hammer as he's now taking the grip back of the MotoGP Esport Championship. Jack Hammer, your reigning champion, back to winning race ahead of Ricciuti and Adrian. And look at that one. That's a big statement right there from your reigning champion.
Yeah, absolutely. What must be going through his head after that race and that win, Max?
Well, I think now he's more, how you said, more convinced than he can do it. And with 2 races like that, you know, on the 3rd one you can manage if you want. You have some good package of points. So, and the other 2 you have to win the race, and maybe can have a better, how you said, not relaxed racing, but he can control more easy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be very important, Lee.
It will be indeed. I think it will be a gap of roughly 10 points for Jackhammer heading into the final race.
Here we have those race results then. Jackhammer in first, Piero Ricciuti. What a phenomenal race from him. He's in P2. And also on the podium with them is Adrian, who finished third. Spadalongo, another fantastic ride, is finished in fourth. Then it's Davide Torrisi, who finished in P5. Daniele Aloe in sixth, followed by Trast after that unfortunate move into the pits to switch that bike. Then it's Keinster, Debo Akbar, Flavio Baldacci, and Exa Rock.
Well, there's only one more race to go, and it's now advantage Jackhammer, your reigning champion. He is back to the summit of the standings, and you can just see him there. Ready, sip of water. He looks quite calm and collected. And Max, as a rider that's had to defend many championships, like when you have one after you've had one to defend another one, what goes through your mind?
Well, yeah, you know then when you're champion and you know everyone waiting for you to do it again. So, but this guy looks like very relaxed and concentrate. I know, and I feel he know what he needs to do it, and I think he's very confident. So I think he can play the game like 90% of his ability and still can do it.
Well, from one champion to another, Max Biaggi has Jackhammer well and truly up for grabs. Maybe it's defending the championship, but this is how Jackhammer did it. There was some bumping and boring at the beginning of the race under these very wet conditions. The run up the hill and towards turn 2. It was Adrian and Trast. It was elbow to early doors as Daniele Aloy was mired in the pack. He was down in 5th at the beginning of the race. However, he did fight back quite brilliantly. He let off the brakes on the downhill right-hander, ran a little bit too deep, and that allowed Trast and Davide Torrisi to retake the advantage. However, Trast would then start moving his way towards the front as Daniele Aloy was now coming under a little bit of pressure from Davide Torrisi after Spadalongo, a fellow Italian, took 5th place from the Italian. Trast was starting to make his way towards the front, overtaking the reigning champion Jackhammer before he set his sights on double champion Adrian. But at the end of that 4th lap, he did come into the pits. We weren't quite sure if the bikes what would work. It would then be the downfall of his race victory as Jackhammer then started to pile the pressure on Adrian, but Adrian made a mistake. Jackhammer saw the parting of the Red Sea and swooped on through to take the lead. They would not relinquish further out as Piero Ricciuti and Daniele Aloy, with 2 laps to go, came to blows at the final corner. As we began the final lap, it was Jackhammer that would hold on for victory. 2 for 2 so far at the Global Series Grand Final, and it was a big moment. He knows how big it was, and the reigning champion was overjoyed with that one. Big wave to the camera for Jackhammer. You can just see the pressure just seems to be relieved off him ever so slightly. Adrian asking questions, maybe just left the door open a little bit at the final corner, allowed Daniele Aloy and Piero Ricciuti to just come on through. But Daniele Aloy, he did salvage that one towards the end of the race. 3rd position for Daniele Aloy, where it looked like it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, absolutely. Salvage is the word. It was going really, well, it was so difficult for him, and he managed to do what he needed to do to get onto that podium. So, incredibly good job.
Yeah, full marks to Daniele Aloy, and of course we will look to see what that does for the championship standings heading in to the final race. Well,
here we have it then. It is Jackhammer who seizes the lead in the standings with 154 points, followed by Daniele Aloy on 131. Adrian is behind them and Trast. In 5th, we've got Piero Ricciuti, 55 points behind. Then it's Davide Torrisi on that Aprilia machine. Spadalongo, who's been so impressive in this final round, is in 7th. Then it's Flavio Baldacci in 8th, Keinster in 9th, and Deepo Akbar in 10th, with Exa Rock in 11th, and Tysox down in 12th.
Well, with one more race to go, it is advantage for the British rider Jackhammer, the reigning champion, gunning for 2 here in Milan. And of course, he's now completely switched that 24-point deficit to a 23-point advantage And of course, Max, that must be such a massive moment as you come into the final event, just on the back foot a little bit to take the advantage going into the final race. He must be full of confidence, but in turn, Daniele Aloi, he's got nothing to lose now.
Yeah, now no. Daniele Aloi does have nothing to lose, but Jack Hammer finally, we see some emotion. Finally, it was celebrated because the race before he was winning, but still very calm, very concentrated. But now he let go with some emotion. So on the final one, he can control a little bit because he have a little bit advantage on championship. But Daniele Aloi really have to try it all in.
He does indeed. Of course, it is a big one. There's still 50 points on offer for this final race, and it is at the Circuit of America's first final race of the series.
Here we have then the race 6 info ahead of this encounter in COTA at the Circuit of the Americas. 3.4 miles, of course, in the US. There are 11 left turns for our gamers to try and get the best out of, and 9 right turns as well.
And of course, the 20-corner circuit at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin is a circuit that's really made up of two halves. The first half of the circuit fast and flowing from the uphill of turn 1, downhill through turns 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way towards turn 10 before the hard-braking downhill for turn number 11. So easy to tuck the front into that left hand, as it is for turn 12, before you come to a very technical section, 13, 14, 15 as well, before the end of the lap, where we could be crowning our MotoGP Esport champion. Well, this is a face of someone that knows he needs to just go out and throw everything plus the kitchen sink at it. Daniele Aloi came into this event 24 points behind. He's now 23 points behind it. Jack Hammer, your reigning champion. There he is on screen, and of course he just exudes confidence and cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's done so well to put everything back together, but he's not the only contender here. I mean, Adrian has been so good as well. We've seen Trask perform incredibly well, maybe being a bit unlucky. Adrian is one to watch out for here.
We just saw him talking to Piero Ricciuti. They both run Hondas, so I'm wondering if there might be some tactics coming aboard for the final event. There are the screenshots of all of the riders, 11 of them ready to go racing for the final race of the season. And you can see closest to the MotoGP Esport trophy is our 3-time champion Trask, and he's a rider that came oh so close to working out in Mugello, maybe just one lap away from victory, but he'll be throwing everything at it now.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a question of having nothing to lose, and of course here at COTA he has won before, so that experience is really going to work in his favor. He knows the circuit, and that's so important, Liam.
It is indeed, and with all of that being said, it's now come down to crunch time. It's now time for the finale, and it's now time to crown our 2024 MotoGP Esport champion. Well, race number 6, after everything throughout 2024, throughout the qualifying, to qualify for the final, our 11 riders are ready to do battle at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, one of the most technically challenging circuits on the entire calendar. And Max, it was a circuit that you didn't race on in your MotoGP career, but you have ridden around there. Just tell us how difficult and technical this circuit is.
Yeah, like you said, it's very technical track, so many left corner, and the first one, the T1, the one with a lot of S's, is fantastic. It's at night flowing and going to the turn. It's like dancing with the bike around the curve, so I think this guy are gonna have fun now.
Yeah, they're gonna have so much fun. And when you were riding around the circuit, I guess there were so many great places that you could overtake and of course set up a move.
Yeah, I see this one, for example, turn 1, it's uphill, it's very easy to brake hard, and you will see some nice overtake even this in this race, I'm sure.
Well, from pole position, Jack Hammer is gunning for his double. The reigning champion looking to make it back-to-back championships in MotoGP Esport. However, he's got Daniele Aloi on row number 2, Adrian on the outside of the second row, Kainsta heading up row number 3 ahead of Baldacci, and of course on the outside of the third row is Spada Longo. On the fourth row of the grid, it is our Trackhouse Racing rider Excel Rocks from Thailand ahead of Deepo Akbar. Watch out for those two at the first corner. Those two know their racecraft and know how to make their way through to the front of the field early doors. So it's now time to go racing ahead of our race number 6 as Jack Hammer from pole position gets ready to try and wrap up title number 2 as the lights go out. Now holding for a long time, but Jackhammer, a great start off the line, but it looked like Teresi got another cracker from the middle of the front row. Trashed up the inside, who's latest of the late breakers, round the outside, chopping the front off of everybody. It's Jackhammer, but Daniele Aloy pushes his Trast out wide, and a crash for Ricciuti further back, but his Trast in second. Oh no, he's lost a little bit. It's now Daniele Aloy where he needs to be chasing after Jackhammer, but your reigning champion, your championship leader, is in the prime position.
Talk about how important the start is. That was absolutely incredible. So much happened there that we're going to have to try and digest. For the time being, it's Jackhammer who, from pole to first position for the time being, is doing so well. It's exactly what he did in 2023 as well when he was on pole. But it's not going to be easy. We've got 8 laps to get through. Currently, it's Jackhammer from Daniele Aloy, the two battling it out throughout this 2024 campaign for so long, and it all comes down to this. Keinster, by the way, in third there. Absolutely sensational stuff.
What a start. What a start there from Keinster. As we just saw ahead of him, Daniele Aloy ran a little bit deep. That's allowed Jackhammer to build up an even bigger advantage. He's let the touch paper, has Jackhammer, and he's off and running where he needs to be, and it's allowing the rest of them to battle amongst themselves.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is a real opportunity as well for Daniele Aloy to show just how much he's grown over this past season. I mean, here he finished P6 in 2023. This time around, well, he's already in P2, and we've seen what he's capable of in other races. For the time being, though, it's still Jackhammer who leads from this sensational helicopter shot.
Yeah, we are at the end of lap number 1. However, it is 8 laps in length. Anything can happen, but Jackhammer, it's a track that he knows incredibly well, taking victory here last year on course for his first world title. Could it be title number 2? By the looks of it at the moment, as we cross the line to start lap number 2, there you have it, our championship standings at the end of lap number 1. It would be, if we put the flag out now, 36 points and title glory the way of Jackhammer. But with the end of lap 1, 1.5 seconds he is ahead of Daniele Aloy, who runs a little deep again into turn number 1. It's all playing into the hands of the KTM rider, Max.
Well, Jackhammer is exactly the place where he is supposed to be, and start first and try to finish first, and looks like he have a nice rhythm. And for the guys who's follow, it looks very difficult to compete with him. So I see he have a good pace. I don't know what to say. Let's see, it's still 6 more laps. Anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen, as we've seen so many times in MotoGP Esport. You could be off and running at the front, racing your own pace, but you could come across with a small mistake and that could be game over. But 2.3 second advantage over his nearest championship rival. Daniele Aloy did have a cracking start off the line, but it looks like it might in the final event just come up short.
What's going through your head, Max, when you get to this point? It's the last race. Everything is on the line. Are you thinking about that whilst you're on the bike, or?
Yeah, when you're in the Jackhammer place, you know, with 2 seconds in 1.5 laps, gap from the second. So I think you're quite okay, you know. Oh, sure, not safe, but you start to play like more calm and use the power of 90%. You don't need to risk. You know, you're still leading, and wait for the other guy who's coming by, and then from them you can play your game.
Yeah, and we just saw the concentration on Daniele Aloy's face there. How important is that kind of mental aspect of riding?
Well, when you have the guy who can win the title in front of you, it's very stressful, very difficult, because you need to close the gap. You need to try your best. So it's not in a good position, of course, but you never know racing.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've just had a flash up there. Crash for Ricciuti and Adrian. We did see them before the start of this race having a little bit of a conversation. Thought maybe it was some team tactics or manufacturer tactics in it. However, those manufacturer tactics have played the wrong way for Adrian and Piero Ricciuti. So, as we start lap number 3, it's such a long circuit here at the Circuit of the Americas. And Daniele Aloy and Trast, they seem to have just managed to hold station for now, maybe working together ever so slightly just to try and see if one of them has the pace to close back in on Jackhammer.
Yeah, Liam, absolutely. That's what they need to do. They need to stop fighting between themselves. They know that there's this gap of 2.2 seconds for the time being between both of them and Jackhammer. So they need to just focus on their rides, getting the right lines, just narrowing that gap so that they come into the end stage of this race with a chance.
Yeah, does indeed. We're looking at Adriana, who just did have a crash a few moments ago, an exit rock. Flavio Baldacci just behind him as he missed the apex ever so slightly at turn 11. Now is Trask now shaping up a move on Daniele Aloi side by side. Latest of the late breakers. It will be one Italian swapping positions with another, but round the outside, just let the brakes off ever so slightly, but also ran off track quite a bit. Daniele Aloi, and this squabbling is just allowing Davide Turrisi, the Aprilia rider, to come back into frame here. Just behind them is Keinsta on the gas machine as well, so Keinsta's coming back at this 3 as well.
It must be nice to see an Aprilia machine getting back into that fight.
Yeah, finally, Texas, this year Maverick won an incredible race, so maybe Davide can do the same.
Yeah, get inspired by Maverick Vinales.
The only time so far this season that Ducati didn't win a race, so I mean it's a track that Aprilia does seem to just match and mix extremely well with. But Turrisi there, we know he likes to get his elbows out, and I think Trask is about to feel some of it, and he does indeed. So Trask has been nerfed out wide by Davide Turrisi. Turrisi does smell another podium in 2024, and he took it with open arms.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible from Turrisi. He did exactly what he needed to do, and now he's in contention for that win. Is still such a big gap with Jackhammer, but Turrisi's done so well. If he can get ahead of Aloe and just has a bit of track ahead of him for him to just start consuming, well, maybe there's a chance for a win here.
You never know, but on that previous lap, it looked like Davide Turrisi just closed down, maybe only a couple of tenths of a second, so maybe a bit too much of an ask on Jackhammer. However, Daniele Aloi is about to feel the wrath of the Aprilia rider any moment now, and of course, as we've seen so far in 2024, Davide Turrisi is a rider that doesn't really care if he's making friends or not, because he will sling it up the inside. Yeah,
absolutely. And we just saw Keinster coming into the picture as well. He's certainly not out of contention for that elusive podium. He was so close before in Malaysia. That, I think, was his best race. Even though he finished so far down in the end, he showed such bravery. And this time around, well, it's a different kind of race, but Keinster's still very much in contention.
Definitely giving him confidence has that previous race. As bit of contact there between the Ducati and the Aprilia, but Daniele Aloi runs a little deep. This is opening the door for Trask potentially. Daniele Aloi, he's struggling on that front end. He's struggling to hold on to second. He keeps running wide, and Turrisi side by side, and this is just music to the ears of Trask. Trask goes for the inside. And that's just sat up Daniele Aloi. He's dropped from second to fourth. Turrisi now into second, with Trask climbing all over the rear tyre of the Aprilia. But, well, that was as close as you like. That was MotoGP Esport at its absolute finest. Nobody backing out, everybody laying a glove on the table in this fight. Yeah, I think Max said it earlier, all in. This stage of the season, it's all in. It really is indeed, and just up front, staying well and truly out of this, is Jackhammer, who is on course for his second championship. However, we're watching this one quite rightly. Side by side, Trask, he's got the inside, he has the advantage. Yes, he does, and Turrisi just trying to get the cut back ever so slightly. It's so difficult to do as you go from a left to a right, but Turrisi and Trask giving us, well, something to watch in this one as he runs a little bit deep there. And Max, just watching these riders, watching the bikes, you can just sort of see the strengths and the weaknesses of each manufacturer and rider.
I see the Trask. He have better handling in the corner, in the small corner, but also Davide have a good drive. So it's very difficult one compared to the other. But it looks like maybe Davide have something more. Yeah, looks like.
There he goes again.
Yeah, it can be a little bit faster. Oh, again, look at that.
Yeah, in MotoGP Esport, once you leave the door open and not one rider comes through, about a whole bus comes through, as we're just finding out from Turrisi. Here we go, Daniele Aloi. Well, he might not be winning the championship so far here today, but he's going down with a fight. Davide Turrisi has been pushed back to fourth spot. Oh, no, he hasn't. There he is. Hello, I'm here. You remember me? Yes, Davide Turrisi around the outside of Trask, ever so slightly. He is going for it. Wow. Trask is down. He's pushed the front too much. He's screamed enough, and Trask has gone down. Oh, that Yamaha just screamed too much at the very, very end. And Davide Turrisi and Daniele Aloi, we come back to them. These two aren't giving it up. We've been privy to some incredible action here. Yeah, this has been such an incredible battle. It was a three-way fight for so long. And in the end, Trask so disappointingly just crashed out there. But he's still got a chance to catch up. This race is not over yet, Liam. It's not indeed. The fight for victory might be over, but the fight for second certainly is not. As Davide Turrisi looking up the inside of Daniele Aloi, not quite yet. This is Ducati versus Aprilia. This is for not just the podium, but this is also for glory, ego, everything you can think of between these two Italian stars. Daniele Aloi up the hill and towards turn number 1. You see the American flag off towards the right-hand side. Davide Turisi's maybe just taking stock, just maybe punching clever here at the moment, but for the time being, Jack Hammer on course, 2.5 laps away from potentially wrapping up his second ever championship. And Max, we did hear from Jorge Martin 1 week ago that when in the final few laps he was thinking about the times he was younger, his mum was making pasta. Where does your mind go to in the final laps when you have a championship on the line?
Yeah, for sure not to think about that. but you know, everyone is different, and nice that he did it, and also it's come to us with Aprilia, which is make the championship more, how you say, more on fire.
Spicy,
because,
no?
Yeah, spice, because we know Ducati is very strong. Is the manufacturer who won the most titles right now on the last few years. But to have a Martin aboard with us, it will be a very an extra push for us.
Yeah, it will be indeed, and we're seeing a big push from one of your Aprilia stars, Italian stars in this race. You could be expecting a lot more in MotoGP with, of course, Jorge Martin and Marco Bezzecchi next year. Certainly exciting times ahead for MotoGP.
I think we'll be seeing a lot of red bikes.
Martin versus Pecco, part 3 again.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
Yeah, we look forward to that one as well, but we're also looking forward to the final 2 laps of this race here at the Circuit of the Americas. Daniele Aloi has seemed to just, well, put play to Davide Turisi's second place hopes for the time being, as it has calmed down ever so slightly. As soon as Trast fell out of the mix, it seems to have calmed down ever so slightly. Spadalongo on the VR46 bike just behind them in 4th spot. Adrian, he's recovered extremely well. He's now got Piero Ricciuti, the LCR Honda rider, just behind him for 5th and 6th. Trast, after that crash at turn 12, he's... Oh, here we go.
What about this?
Oh, wow, this has come out of nowhere potentially. Does Turisi run deep? A little bit, but block pass there.
Nice.
And very nice indeed, and well, that was something as we cut away, it looked like it was not going to happen into turn 1.
Yeah, that was incredible from Davide Turisi. He's doing everything he can. He bided his time there so well as well. I was going to say that we need to wait until one of these two riders makes a mistake, as we saw with Trast, but it's not the case.
We were talking about the Honda riders riding together. They crashed earlier on in the race together. Well, just flashed up that they crashed again, but we're back with them. So Adrian and Piero Ricciuti, I guess, have just remounted behind Spadalongo, the Ducati rider on the GP23, coming under pressure from the Honda duos. Adrian was coming under a lot of pressure there from Piero Ricciuti. As we run down towards turn 11, so easy to make a mistake into here, as we saw Marc Marquez, the king of Cota, do so earlier on this season. So Spadalongo on the grass, I don't think you want to be out there too often. You won't get much time.
Oh, what about Piero Ricciuti?
Wow,
what about
Ricciuti, what a ride there. What an overtake. Just got the drive from that turn 11. Here we go. It's not done just yet. He's got win for 5th. He's now going for 4th, but he's run too deep, and it's all come to nothing for Piero Ricciuti.
Yeah, so unfortunate. We just saw Spadalongo go wide there. Adrian showing his experience by staying on. We can see him there. That focus. I mean, he knows what it is to step on the podium here at Cota. He finished 3rd back in 2021 and in 2023. He just needs to stay cool, calm and collected and fight his way through the crowd.
He does indeed, and we're back with Davide Turisi on board the Aprilia. And Max, this must be music to the ears for you as an Aprilia rider for so long, with so many championships with them, and of course still an ambassador of sorts with the Aprilia brand.
Well, it's nice to see Davide's, fight, battle for the second position. It would be tough because Daniele Aloi looks very solid, but on this last lap, hopefully he can finish in front, but you never know, especially in MotoGPeSport, anything is possible.
Absolutely.
It is indeed any time in esports, and Davide Turisi for the time being just holding on to 2nd, but quite rightly we're here with our reigning champion. He's got that number 1 on the front of the bike for the reason, and he will be holding on to that for a 2nd year running, barring any mistake. However, with a 5.8 second advantage, it looks like it might take something quite incredible for Jack Hammer to lose this race, to lose this championship. So Davide Turisi is still in 2nd ahead of Daniele Aloi, and of course, well, Davide Turisi, for the time being, half a second ahead of Daniele Aloi. Jack Hammer comes down the back straight, the champion ready for championship number 2. down over the crest of the hill in towards turn number 12. And Max, this must be one of the most incredible, most exhilarating times to be a rider.
Well, of course, this is what you dream about, you know, to do it again. And for him, it's going to be the second time in the road, right? So I think he will be happy and flying around and celebrate. You know, I don't know what they can do it, but for sure it's going to be a big emotion, and to do it a second time in the road.
Yeah, well be Dean Connor. He's just been utterly incredible this year, hasn't he?
Yeah, he got off to a slower start than I expected because he came into this season as the reigning champion. But, I mean, you can see with that focus, that concentration on his face, he's managed to just turn that season around after a difficult start, and he's shown us what he can do.
One more corner to go for Jack Hammer. One more time, he will be crowned MotoGP Esport champion. Jack Hammer hammered them into the ground here at the Circuit of the Americas. The King of Kota has returned, and Jack Hammer is your 2024 MotoGP Esport Global Series champion. What an incredible series it has been for the British rider. 3 victories here today, and he did everything he needed to do in the final event.
Yeah, absolutely. What's going to be going through his head right now from a world champion, Max? Tell us.
Well, he's put all together, you know, was nice and flowing through the corner, no mistakes. You never see the bike moving around, it's all in control, and even in the wet before in the race before the Mugello and here. So he showed some muscles, and I have to say, you know, he deserved it.
Yeah, a very deserving champion indeed. And of course, all the accolades coming from you, Max, 6-time champion, handing all the praise to now a 2-time MotoGP Esport champion. It's an incredible, incredible series he's had.
Yeah, absolutely. If I was Jack Hammer, I'd be going into this live and clipping exactly what Max just said, and I'd put it as a ringtone or something. I mean, it's very, very rarely in life where a 6-time world champion praises you like that.
Indeed, and of course, Max, you get to hand Jack Hammer his championship trophy in a few moments' time. So, yeah, it will be utterly incredible for him to be handed.
I will, with pleasure.
Well, so we have to remember that Daniele Aloy put up such a fight towards the bitter end, just came up a little bit short, as did Adrian, your 2-time champion, who's now been settled on a 2-time championship along with Jack Hammer. So, yeah, commiserations for Adrian, for all of the riders. Trast as well, you can just see being embraced by Spada Longo, and it was such a difficult final race for these two.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so difficult, but on their day, any one of our riders could have come away with a win here, especially going to this final round when the points were worth so much. But at the end of the day, it was Jack Hammer's day.
Yes, it was indeed Jack Hammer's day at the Milan Games Week for the MotoGP Esport Global Series finale. What an incredible day of action we've had. And Jack Hammer, well, he didn't give anyone any hope as he took all 3 victories here today, and of course his 2nd World Championship. He came also close to having, well, Daniele Aloy came also close to taking his 1st championship, but he just came across a better rider here today.
Yeah, I mean, Daniele Aloy showed us what he was capable of in that first round. I mean, he was so good then, and he had been consistent. It's just at the end of the day, when a gamer of Jack Hammer's caliber is on their day, when they're performing at this level, when they can finish the final race with a gap of maybe 5 seconds, it just means that you are never really going to be able to catch up.
Yeah, and of course, Max, very quickly, just something to say about Daniele Aloy, he just missed out on his 1st title.
Daniele Aloy can be the next one for sure. It's a higher potential for next year too. And but Jack Hammer, I have to say, he didn't show any weakness. You know, that's what makes champion. You know, even in the rain circuit where it's wet, or where even in the dry, on a fast corner like in Jerez. He shows some potential every time he was there, no mistake, good start, also very good start. I check every race, he was having a very good start. Doesn't matter what, but he was always there.
Yeah, he's been taking a lot of solace from Pecco Bagnaia and, of course, Jorge Martin with the starts so far this
very important
year. And of course, well, we will be bringing the standings up for you very shortly, just confirming that Jack Hammer is, of course, your 2024 MotoGP Esport champion ahead of Daniele Aloy. And of course, Adrian Trask just missed out ever so slightly on that championship glory as well. And of course, we've got to remind you about the other runners and riders: Spadalongo, Piero Ricciuti, Flavio Baldacci. Further down the field, Deepo Akbar, and of course, Exeter Rock, your rookies from Indonesia and Thailand. They showed incredible form in 2024, and of course we will be looking forward to seeing them back in 2025. And of course we will be starting our podium ceremony very, very soon with our top 3 in the standings. And Max, just to round it off with you so far today, we've seen so many incredible riders, gamers, so much incredible action. Is there a moment for you that stood out?
Well, you know, it's for me it's the first time to see that live, and I have to say there's a lot of effort from this rider, this gamer, but I can imagine how much effort they have to do it during the year, you know, because this is only the final races, but you know, they've been testing, I'm sure, hour and hour, so that makes very complicated, but I really appreciate, and I see so much effort what they're doing these last 3 races, and hopefully to see next year again.
Yeah, we hope to have you back next year as well, because it's been an absolute pleasure having you with us here today. Obviously an amazing insight you've got given us from the riders and the gamers perspective. And of course, we will be hearing now from our 2024 MotoGP Esport champion, Jack Hammer. He's on stage with Conor Doherty.
That's absolutely right, Liam. An absolutely incredible performance. Jack Hammer, champion 2024. How do you feel?
Absolutely fantastic. After the disaster in Valencia, I knew I had to win all 3 races, and just to put that kind of performance together under maximum pressure, it was just such a fantastic feeling. It's very similar to how last year went, but this one means more because it's validation that I deserve to be here, and I'm just so happy and so made up to win the title again.
Absolutely. And for you, can you maybe tell us about the key moments, how you felt during them in this 2024 campaign as you went on to keep your title?
Well, obviously it was the 2 combat rides that got me to 2nd place in both times, so that was very important. And in the final 3 races there, the battle with Daniele at Jerez was incredible. Unfortunately, he ended up in a crash. But just to be the most strong, and Mugello used my head the most, I guess. And then in Austin, when I realised I was leading out turn 1, I put the best lap of the race on that lap. And then when I saw I had over a 2nd gap, I knew I just had to stay relaxed, do everything normal. And then crossing the line with over 6-second lead is pretty much unheard of. So I'm just absolutely made up for everything.
Absolutely. And the competition this year was even tighter than last year. I mean, we had so many people winning. You did so well to come out here today and manage to get that win. So congratulations. We'll go back to Liam now with Max.
Well, about handing out the World Championship trophy. However, we've had such an amazing day of action here. 3 races, and we've now got to top it off with crowning our 2024 MotoGP Esport champion. Just spoke glowingly with Conor Doherty. But now we get to see how Jack Hammer took the Global Esports Championship here today.
Well, we have been privy to an incredible finale here at the MotoGP Esport Global Series Grand Final. And of course, I've got to thank my co-commentators, Max Biaggi, MotoGP legend, and of course, Connor Doherty for this incredible event. What has been, well, one and truly one of the biggest events of the series we've ever had in MotoGP Esport, Connor.
Yeah, absolutely. This year was incredible. The level of competition was so high from start to finish. And obviously, Jack Hammer managed to clean up here, but it was by the narrowest margin.
It was indeed. And now we have our top three on the podium. So, Max, I would like to ask you to make your way over to the podium to hand out the top three prizes. Well, what a day it has been as Max Biaggi hands over the top three their medals and, of course, the champion their trophy. Daniele Aloi just missed out on the championship corner, but he rode so well.
Yeah, he was absolutely incredible. As we mentioned throughout this series, that round one performance from Daniele Aloi was incredible. Adrian as well, commiserations. He was so good. There's a reason why he's a two-time world champion. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year, indeed, and it could become a three-time champion. However, we do have the crowning moment here in Milan for your two-time now MotoGP Esport Global Champion, Jack Hammer. Max. Well, we now have our Esport champion, Jack Hammer, takes the championship ahead of Adrian and Daniele Aloi. I would just like to say a big thank you to all of you watching at home and, of course, here at the Milan Games Week. And, of course, Connor Doherty for joining me all season long, but mainly MotoGP legend, Max Biaggi. So thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you in 2025 when everything will be bigger and better. But once more time for everyone here in Milan Games Week, give it up for your MotoGP Esport champion, Jack Hammer. Well, Connor, it's been one incredible series, and we can't top off with glowingly talking about Jack Hammer.
Yeah, I mean, he's been so good as Jack Hammer. There's a reason why he's on top of that podium, but Daniele Aloi, Adrian, they've been phenomenal as well. And it's just a question of getting those small things right, I think.
Yeah, it is indeed. And we'd like to bring Max back in just for one final thought. And Max, thank you so much for joining us here today. Did you enjoy yourself first of all? And second of all, what was your big highlight of today?
Well, I enjoyed so much. It was my first time really, and to watch close is even better. And this is just a day to remember for Jack, and a dream come true twice. So I just have to say bravo, and thank you very much for your company.
It's been an pleasure, and we hope to see you back for 2025. It's been so well. Once again, thank you so much for joining us in 2024. We've now crowned a MotoGP Esports champion in 2024. Thanks again to Max Biaggi, MotoGP legend, and of course, Conor Doherty for joining me all season long. And one thing I'd like to say to you is we look forward to 2025 and see you again next year.
The TV going on.
I know, right?
That was a